Good afternoon. Dwayne here, Dry Creek Wrangler School. Getting ready to start this fall's classes back up here in about 6 days. So we've been busy trying to get stuff done, still working on the farm and on the house and trying to get stuff done ready for school. And I'm in here every day writing and working on this book and trying to get it done. And so I just want to make a quick video and just with a thought. Who started your day today? Okay? Who started your day? Now, one of two things happened. Either you started your own day in your own way, or the day started your day. Now, what do I mean by that? I get up every morning and I go and sit on my front porch and I have a cup of coffee, and then when that cup of coffee's done, I light up my breakfast cigar, and I'll sit there and have a cigar and another cup of coffee. That's how I start my day. Now, my beautiful bride of many years she's not like me, temperament, personality. She's a morning person. I'm not, never have been. I've never been a morning person. Now, I've worked plenty of jobs where I have to get up, I got to be out feeding at 6 or on the job site at 6, or when I need to do a job, I've always been able to get up and do what needs to be done. But I'm not a morning person. She is. And so by the time I get up, whether I'm up at 6:30 or whatever time it is, she's usually already up and gone. And by gone, I mean she walks. She has a new puppy, which she got to replace Waylon. Those of you who've been on the channel for a while, we lost Waylon a while back. So she has a new puppy. That puppy is a blue heeler. And if you know anything about blue heelers, they're just four-legged chainsaws. And so her and that puppy, she gets up, goes through her morning routine, and then goes for a walk. And she'll go do her walk, and she'll take pictures of the sunrise as it's coming up. She'll go out in the pasture and say good morning to the horses and pet the horses, and she has her thing. I will get up and I will stumble into the kitchen where she has already made coffee and have it in the thermoses, and I'll pour myself a cup of coffee and I'll go sit on the porch. And usually they're off having their morning. Now, she's very supportive and very understanding, and so she does this so she can have her morning the way she wants to start her day, by her choice. But she leaves me to start my own day. Now, sometimes, depending on the schedule and what happens, they will come back while I'm about halfway through my first cup of coffee. And she will, sometimes she puts the puppy up if the puppy is a little bit too rambunctious and too energetic, and we'll say good morning, and she'll go in and get her coffee and do what she needs to do, and then come out and sit down. And she about, sometimes she looks like she's about ready to burst, because she's had a great morning, and now she's got company, and she wants to talk, and she wants to chatter, and she wants to visit. But she knows I'm not going to be real, I'm not going to be real, what's the word I want? I'm not going to be a good partner for that. And so she'll sit there quietly and have a cup of coffee, and we'll just sit on the porch. I've been writing, I'm working on a chapter in the book, and I was thinking about this trip we just got back from Wyoming out there from riding in the Bighorns. And I would wake up just as it's starting to lighten the sky a little bit of a morning, and invariably I would hear, just about every morning, I would hear the pop, pop, of someone breaking dead spruce branches to build a fire. And I would get up and, get out of my bedroll and get my clothes on and whatnot, then put on a pair of camp moccasins, and then I would go out to the fire. And my son Ben, who had come out from Idaho to join us, he would be the one out there building the fire and making that first coffee. And I would go up in the morning, and then I would sit down and watch him get the fire going. And then there were 8 or 9 of us total out there, but invariably Ben was usually the first one up, and then it was Tom or we would be second and third, and I would sit down and watch, and then Tom would come out where he checked on the horses, and our horses that were on high lines, and he went up and said good morning to his little bay horse, and then he would come over, and we would just quietly sit there, not chatter, not joking, not laughing, no radio, no music blaring from the phone. We just quietly sat there, and we would watch until the coffee would start percolating. And when it was done percolating, we would pass the pot around and have coffee and sit there and drink coffee. And the others would start waking up, and they would start coming in, and I got to thinking about that. The three of us specifically, that was how we had determined in our own life back home, and it carried over and it was easier up there, that we start our day. In other words, we start our day on our own terms. We pursue a life of peace and calmness and as much reduced stress as we can manage. Now, the day will throw at you what the day throws at you, and you just meet it. Whatever happens, whatever comes, you just meet it and go on. And we do that. But that first morning, Tom, he's in a house down here a couple miles from where I am. I know he does the same thing. He gets up over morning and he goes in, and his wife or he make coffee, and he goes and sits out on the porch quietly over morning and has his coffee, and that's how he starts his day. Ben does the same thing. I was talking with Ben, and he's a firefighter in Idaho, and his schedule is what his schedule is, but when he's home, he gets up before anybody and he makes coffee, and he wants to have that first 20 or 30 minutes of just quiet, peaceful solitude, drinking his coffee and starting the day. Because we have learned that if you don't start your day will start your day. Your alarm clock will go off, and you'll when the alarm clock goes off, I've got 30 minutes to get dressed, grab a bite to eat, run out, jump in the truck, and get to my job. And the day starts chasing the clock. The day starts, maybe it's more accurate to say the day starts with the clock chasing you. And you don't have a choice. You allow the day's schedule to wake you up and say, it's time to get going. It's time to go. You've got to get this, you've got to get that, you've got to do this, you've got to go punch that clock, you've got to do that. Well, even if you have a job, even if you live a life where the clock has to begin somewhere, all right, but wherever that clock begins, you can quietly get up before that and take 20 or 30 minutes and set the tone for your day. And unless life throws a curveball at you, which it will, that first part of the morning and the method by which you choose to start your day can set the tone for the rest of the day. And if I begin my day quiet and peaceful in the manner in which I choose, with the spirit in which I choose, then I have started my day. And then if I'm on my way to wherever once things start and this happens or that happens, I have met it from a place that I set from the beginning. Does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying? I think there are a lot of people these days that, and this is the way I used to do, okay? I'm speaking from hard-won, painful experience here. When I was a young man, it's like, okay, I have to be at work. I have to be on the job site at 7 o'clock. It's a 30-minute job. It's a 30-minute drive to the job site. So I have to leave the house by 6:30. I need to eat breakfast. It's going to take me 15 minutes to eat breakfast. 6:15. It'll take me 15 minutes to stumble out of bed, to do whatever my morning is, to get dressed and everything. So let's say my alarm clock, I set my alarm at 6. Well, then I have started my day. My alarm goes off and wakes me up. The day says you have to get up because you have this many minutes to go to the bathroom, to brush your teeth, to wash your face, to get your work clothes on, to get downstairs, to get to the table, to sit down, to eat your quick breakfast. You got 15 minutes to do that. And then the clock says, hey, hurry, hurry, hurry. You've got to get out in your truck and you've got to get going. So you're chased out into your truck by the clock. And then the clock says you've got to drive through the traffic. And the traffic's particularly thick today. We're in the country headed to a job site and we wind up behind a tractor. And we wind up behind a school bus. And the clock is saying, hurry, 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 you're going to be late. And we get to the job site and we clock in and we're on the clock all day long. It's just, it sets the tone that you set for the day. That day sets the tone. It becomes, over time, it sets the tone for the rest of your life. And we become so stressed and we become so imprisoned by time. And we become reactionary by nature because we are reacting. We are reacting from the moment that our alarm goes off. We are reacting to what the clock says we have to do. You say, Dwayne, I have a job and I have a clock and I have to be on time. Okay. We need an alarm clock to wake us up. If you're like me, I have always, from the time I was a baby, I require a lot of sleep, and I sleep hard. So we have an alarm, but set that alarm gently a whole hour sooner. You say, Dwayne, I'll lose an hour of sleep. Well, listen to me. Okay, it's worth it. Set that clock an hour sooner. Get up leisurely, but get up. Okay? Get up leisurely and go down and make your coffee and go out on your porch or in your den. Do not turn that stupid television on. All right? Go sit on your porch or in your den or in your man cave or wherever and start the day on your own terms. You say, well, if I turn the news on and start the day like that, I choose to do it. It's not your terms. The news has determined what they're going to tell you, and they've determined how they're going to present the world to you. From the moment you wake up and you turn that television on or your computer or whatever it is, they are presenting to you what they have determined your view of the world and your view of the day is going to be. They start your day. But if you will get up and you will start your day, over time, gradually, little by little, you will have more control of your day, more control of how you greet the day, whatever happens in the day, more control of how you respond to what the day tries to throw at you if you start your day out on your own terms. Not the terms of social media, not the terms of television, not the terms of the clock, not the terms of, but your terms. Dwayne, I don't, whatever yours is, make it yours. All right? Make it yours. But start your day out on your terms. If you want a more peaceful day, if you want a more peaceful approach to a non-peaceful day, you get that by how you start the day the moment you roll out of bed. Now, I'm at a place in my life where I have a little bit more freedom from the clock. And I understand that. And not everybody is at that place right now. And respectfully, I know and I understand. But we lose control of everything, or we feel like we've lost control of everything, when we don't control that which we actually have control of. So I just want to sow a little seed for you today. Who's going to start your day tomorrow? Are you going to start your day on your own terms? Or are you going to let the day wake you up and start your day? Are you going to determine that the pace, are you going to determine the pace of your day by how you start it? Or are you going to let the start of it determine the pace of the day? If we start out stressed, if we start out running, we'll spend the whole day running. And then we become exhausted. And I don't mean physical exhaustion, although that's a real thing. Mentally exhausted and emotionally exhausted is much worse than physically exhausted. But sometimes we get in a place in our life where we are both physically, mentally, and emotionally exhausted. But if we determine, I'm going to start my day like this. This is how I start my day. All right? This is my time. Maybe for some of you, if you're a Christian, you start by quietly reading your Bible with a cup of coffee. All right? There will be time enough to get up and go comb your hair and brush your teeth and put your work clothes on. But this is your time. This is your time. And then you're a slave to the clock for the rest of the day. Okay. And you come home, guess what? If you want it, it's your time. It's your time again. You've punched that clock and you've come home. And what do? What do we sit down and we let the world determine what our evening is going to be? No, we're not going to do that. We're going to go back out on the back porch if we got one, or whatever we have, and whatever we can create out of what we have if we don't have what we want. And we're going to sit there and we're going to wind down, and we're going to, whatever your thing is, you're going to sit there and have a beer. I don't care. Okay, what works. You're going to sit there and you're going to have a bourbon. I'm not the kind of Christian that's going to throw rocks at that. If that's what works, have whatever it takes to sit down and unwind. All right? I start my day with a cup of coffee and a cigar on my terms. And then I go do all the things that I have to do throughout the day. And when I get done everything that I have done, and all of my obligations are done, I finish the day. Usually with a cup of coffee and a cigar. I don't answer the phone. I don't do this. I don't do that. I take control. I get up out of bed and start the day peacefully. And then when all the chaos of the day is done, then I take my time and I go to bed peacefully. You don't have so much control of this, but you have control of this, and you have control of this. Okay? Now you got a family, you got to have family time, but you know what? You can direct and lead family time so that it's peaceful and happy. All right? Take control of as much as you can take control of. And the more control that you exert over the controllable times of your life, the less out of control you will feel in the sandwich part in the middle that belongs to life. All right? Just an encouragement, just a little bit of advice and encouragement. Hope it's somebody, it helps somebody. And a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Sometimes that single step is setting that alarm clock a little bit early so that you have that particular period of time that you do have control over. If you can't control your first 30 minutes or your first hour of the morning, if you can't set your clock a little bit, you can't control that, then who is to be surprised when we feel out of control of the rest of our life? Either you start your day or your day will start you. Okay? The choice is yours. All right? We'll talk to you guys later.